Good morning, children. How are you? How was your day after your PT1? Okay, you must be refreshed now. And see, what I have been emphasizing, what I have been telling, that you are at home, you do have ample time, must make the most of these ample time. What do you have? Okay, go through the text, go through the other resources, go through the video lessons, go through other novels, read newspapers if possible, okay, and enrich your knowledge. Fine, don't confine yourself till the knowledge you are getting from the book only, but apart from it, when you get time, you enrich yourself as well. Fine. So let us come to the second part, section B of your PT1 question paper, the subjective type. Fine. The instructions you will find as usual. The general instructions are there. The question number 1 to 4 or 41 to 44 you will find in your section B. Okay. Now, the first question of section B you will find, or it says, in what context India's experiment with universal adult franchise appeared very bold and risky? Okay, means what had been those context? Factors responsible for it, that first thing was the size of the country and the electorate. The size of the country and the electorate made it highly unusual. Okay, because our country is not the country like any small country of Europe, or a small country of America, or a small country of Africa. Fine, the size does matter, and the number of literate and the legitimate voters, not only literate, even the number of eligible voters we do have, that made this election unusual. Okay, the first factor. The second, it was the first big test of democracy in a poor and illiterate country like India. What we can say, it was a litmus test. It was a crucial test. It was the most important test in a poor country or illiterate country like India, where we had the minimum rate of literacy those days in our country. But we decided once that we have to go for the parliamentary election. In our country, the system would be multi party democracy. We never deviated from it. Come what may, we went ahead and we proved it a point before the entire world. Okay, and number three, by that time, democracy had existed only in prosperous countries of the world, and that too of Europe and America, children. Okay, not this part of a hemisphere rather. Okay, only in that Western world democracy has been flourishing. Okay, by that time. So, because democracy flourished by the time in Europe and America, that's why the think tank, they had really, they were really concerned that what would happen if India is going to have election in a country, or India decided to have election, to conduct election, to go with election, what would happen? They were keeping their fingers crossed, in fact, children. Fine. So any two out of these three factors you need to write. Hope it must be clear to you. Now come to question number 2. What would you consider as the main differences between Mexico and India under one party domination? Mexico, remember, there has been a party named PRI, the Institutional Revolutionary Party. But that party had been dominating in Mexico. The difference that under PRI in Mexico, or under that one party domination, it was the domination of the PRI, and it was based on the perfect dictatorship. It was the true example of dictatorship. But same was not the case in India. the Congress party's domination, the domination of the Congress, it was based on popular consensus. It was basically the popular consensus. Congress party got the power. Congress party had been given the power to rule the nation by the side of the common people. It was the result of the parliamentary election. Once we decided to conduct it, to hold it in 1951-52, then after the interval of every 5 years, we kept it conducting, and it is being conducted till date. Fine. The second factor, that in Mexico, the rigging of election, the manipulation, the shifting of the polling booth in last minute, last moment by the side of the ruling party, it was very common. You know the PTM, because see the PTM, when you hear, you don't like it. But see, here in different context I am telling you that when PRI had been ruling in Mexico, and on the day of PTM in every schools, the teachers were compelled to convince the parent that see, you have to vote in favor of the PRI only. And suppose tomorrow election is scheduled, okay, on June 3rd. We are knowing that in one government school, okay, like a Kumrar government school, polling booth is there. I will go, I'm prepared that okay, tomorrow morning I have to go there and I have to cast my vote. Next morning when I reached there, and the lakhs of voters like me, when they used to reach there, they found that there is no polling booth. In fact, polling booth has been shifted overnight, so that the legitimate voters, the genuine voters, they couldn't vote, and the bogus voter or the rigging and manipulation would have been highly easier for them. This was the kind of tricks used by PRI in Mexico. But what happened in India? In our election, it was the multi-party democracy, and it was based on competition among political parties. Okay, and even the independent candidate, they were free to contest election, and they did in fact. So these were the two main differences, simply two. There are so many other points you need to write here, two such points. Fine. Now come to question number 3. Why did the superpowers want to have military alliances with smaller countries? Okay, as I told you, it's a very important question, and CBSE, the board generally asks it in 4 marks category. Fine. Generally, it sounds very weird that superpowers, they were interested in having military alliances with a smaller nation. But regions were there, factors were there, as discussed. First one, they wanted the vital resources. They wanted the oil, they wanted the minerals. Okay, and whatsoever production they do have in their own nation, the superpowers, that were sufficient till certain extent only. They wanted to make it in long run. So their uninterrupted supply, and for having the uninterrupted supply of these oil and the minerals and other vital resources, they wanted to have alliances with smaller countries also. Okay. Second, their territory they wanted to use. Suppose where they could station their armed forces, from where they could launch their weapons, they could use it. Without having territory, how would they succeed? Okay, so the second factor, their territory, they wanted, the superpowers wanted to use the territory of its smaller nation, of its partners. That's why alliances, they were highly interested. Number 3, the locations, for the purpose of keeping an eye on its opponent, for the purpose of spying in fact. Okay, keeping the agent, they wanted their locations to be used or to use it. That's why the third factor was that the location. Okay, the fourth factor, economic support. They wanted and they believed that contribution, even the minimum contribution, matters. Okay, So economic support was very crucial for them, and for this purpose they wanted to have alliances with the smaller countries, and last but not the least, the ideological regions. They wanted to prove that my ideology, just like the Western alliance led by the US, went on proving the point that the ideology of the concept of liberal democracy and capitalism is the best. On the other hand, the Eastern Alliance, led by the Soviet Union, wanted to prove that the ideology of socialism and communism is the best. So it was the ideological. There had been one ideological regions also. Here you need to write any four out of these five. Hope this must be clear to you. Now come to the map-based question, children. The most important one, because map takes your minimum time when you know where to locate and how to locate. Here, princely estates. You have been given very simple map, children. Locate the following princely estates on an outline map of India: Hyderabad, Manipur, Junagadh, and Tripura. Entire princely estates you had to locate, so it would have been highly easier for you. Now come to the map. See, you will find here first Hyderabad, second Manipur. So Hyderabad, you see those days Andhra Pradesh was together, but here the map you will find outline the Andhra Pradesh and the Telangana. So Hyderabad has been shown here. Fine. So in this way you need to locate. Suppose Hyderabad city you are getting, that had not been asked here, then exact place you need to locate or show. Here it is the entire state of Nizam, ruled by Nizam those days. Okay, that's why Hyderabad has been shown here. Okay, and then second is your Manipur. Manipur come to the northeastern part, and you will find here that in this northeastern part, the state that is very close or to the almost easternmost. Okay, means Arunachal Pradesh, below that. Okay, Nagaland, and just below it we do have the Manipur, what you are finding here, and both side I have written here number 2 Manipur. Fine. Number 3 it's Junagadh, a princely estates in Gujarat, children. Okay, means the western coastal area, the Junagadh. Okay, and then the fourth one is Tripura, again in the northeast, below Meghalaya. Okay, we are finding here Tripura. Fine. So these, in this way, map work you need to do, and it is a sure set marks for you without taking your time. In minimum time you will find that you can do map work and you could score 100% marks in map as well. Fine, children. Okay, hope their answers are clear to you. In case of any other doubt, you are free to ask. Okay, never hesitate in asking the question. Have a good day. Take care. Stay safe. Thank you.